Alright, hey guys, what's going on? Hey, it's Jason here with No Tone Amps, and I've had a lot of questions concerning my Marshall DSL modifications and what I prefer to do to make them sound good, to get rid of the bee in a can type of distortion and overdrive. So, to make it real simple, and that way you can look it up and you can research it if you don't know what I'm talking about. I made the tone slope value variable, and I also made the bright cap that connects to the tone slope resistor variable. I'm using a variable bright cap value of 250 and 390 PF, and my tone slope is variable anywhere from 6K to 56K. I used a pot for that. So what does a tone slope structure do? That is what sets, in large part, not entirely, but in large part, that's what sets a Fender apart from a Marshall, apart from a Vox. A lot of your Fenders use a 100K tone slope resistor that scoops a lot of your mids out. Classic amps like the JTM45, the early 60s Plexis, they used a 56K tone slope resistor, which made them a lot more mid-present than what people were used to with the old Fenders. You know, the Blackface series. A lot of your tweeds are pretty mid-present. But anyway, we're getting off track. So the 56K brought back a lot of your mids, and it gave that, what everyone came to know as that classic Marshall honk in the mids. A lot of the older Marshalls were using a 56K tone slope with a 250 PF bright cap. So that is your classic Marshall tone. The tone slope determines how your controls interact with each other. It determines how much of your treble comes down into the tone slope and the bright cap. Determine how much your treble control comes down into your mids, how much bass roll off you have, etc. There's a lot of it all intertwines, and changing those two values makes a huge difference. Your DSL series is running the same, well, the ones that I've seen are running the same structure as like a JCM 800. They're running a 33K with a 500 PF bright cap. What that does is it gives you more gain, and it makes the amp bright to me. To me, it makes the amp almost seem a little too mid-present. What the setting that I use for my DSL that you just heard is a 47K with a 390 PF bright cap. I like that. A lot of people even like 47K with a 470 PF bright cap. That all depends on you. It depends on your ears, your guitars, what you like, how you set your knobs up, everything else. Everything works together. But that's the tone that I'm getting with the DSL, is about 47K on the tone slope circuit with a 390 PF cap. So I don't really care to work on the DSL series. The boards are fragile. It doesn't take much overheating to make the board delaminate. I really don't want to work on them. So if you find someone that wants to mod it, or if you want to mod your own, by all means, go for it. Now you know the secret. But that's only half the equation. The other half of the equation is I play through a 412 cab, and that 412 cab is loaded with Ted Weber Grey Wolf speakers. That is the other part of the tone. The Grey Wolf, the Grey Wolf is kind of a descendant of the G12H tone ancestry, but it kind of blends the G12H in with classic lead 80. It's a nice speaker. I like it with any type of Marshall amp. I really do. I like anything that has a Marshall type tone structure. I like it. So there you have it. Now I'll go back through and I'll tell you what was what. I'm using P90s, using a Gibson. Take the tuner off so you can see it. Using a Gibson Melody Maker. Has a stock double P90s. It's using a .015 orange drop capacitor. No gimmicks, no weird crazy stuff, using 10 gauge strings. So I'm going to start off in the classic gain channel. I am using an attenuator, just like my past videos. You guys know I use attenuators. It's how you get your tone. The other thing with these little amps is you have to turn them up. I am on the low setting though. I am not in the full 20 watt mode. I'm on the 10 watt mode. I have the tone shift knob is out, and I'll even show you how those differ. And what that does is it just plays with your EQ structure, so that way instead of playing with the knobs, it does it for you on a set switch. Plays with your mids for the most part. Classic gain, I am running the volume is on, what is that, 1, 2, 3, volume's on 4, gain is on 6. This is the tone we get on the bridge with P90s. I am using the reverb on the amp. The reverb's on 1, and I am using a MXR carbon copy. The reason I'm doing that is I use a Hendrix style 30-foot coiled cable. The MXR's buffer circuit helps to bring my tone back up from such a long input, and we all like a little bit of delay. A little bit of modulation always makes things sound better, in my opinion. So that is your classic gain channel sound. Middle pickups, both together, well, both together, and then just your neck. And it rolls off nicely. Middle. Neck. Now, if I pulled out the tone shift, or pushed it in rather, it just mellows the amp, is really all it does. It takes the presence, it takes some of the mids out. Now, let's shift over to the ultra gain. Volume is on 8 and gain is on 1. Back to the neck. Volume's on 10, tone's on 7. Sorry, that's the bridge. Here's your neck. Back to the bridge. We'll push in the tone shift. So, there you have it. No huge secret. That's what I've done to my DSL. Like I said, try it. See if it works for you. Works for me. And it gives you something else to play with. Another knob. Wow. Anyway, that's it. You guys have a good rest of your day.